Hi there, I'm Brian Waller, President of the Technology Association of Iowa, and welcome to TechBrew AM presented by Nutanix. This is a program put on by TAI to talk to technology executives, hear about their current role and their path to get there. I talked about Nutanix. Presenting with me today is the sponsor, Mike Reiter, who is the Enterprise Account Executive with Nutanix. Mike, can you talk about your role and briefly, what does Nutanix do?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. My role is an enterprise account executive. I focus on 22 accounts throughout the state of Iowa. And Nutanix is a leading provider of hyperconverged software for the data center, according to Gartner and Forrester. Nutanix takes the public cloud experience of simplicity, flexibility, and ease of use on a fractional consumption model and applies it to your environment wherever you want your data to reside. Nutanix offers a complete solution to save you both time and money by applying automation and orchestration in your data center. We help customers simplify and modernize their data centers.
Well, we are excited here to have Linda Peyton with Collins Aerospace as our guest today. Would you be so kind to introduce our guest today?
Yes, thank you. Linda Peyton is currently the Senior Engineering Director in Collins Aerospace and Enterprise Engineering, leading the product assurance team in cybersecurity and safety. Linda joined the company in 1985 and has held a number of leadership roles throughout her tenure. Prior to being named as Rockwell Collins Fellow in 2015, she spent time as an engineering leader in the Government Systems Information Assurance and Rotary Wing Directorate, and most recently, the Commercial Systems Avionics Product Directorate. As a leader in these organizations, Linda helped to drive new technology solutions in navigation, security, cryptography, computer processing, and displays. Linda also serves on the board of directors for the Technology Association of Iowa. Please help me welcome the Senior Engineering Director in Collins Aerospace Engineering, leading the product assurance team in cybersecurity and safety, Linda Peyton, to TechBrew AM.
Linda Peyton, welcome to TechBrew AM.
Good morning, welcome.
Hey, so we start the same way every time, and that's your hometown and high school. So what is that for you?
I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, and I went to Central High School. I was a Blue Devil.
All right. So we want to dive into what your role is specifically at Collins Aerospace, because I know that has evolved since you joined that company in 1985. But can you tell us a little bit about your journey from leaving Davenport and then arriving in 1985 at Collins Aerospace, which was then Rockwell Collins?
Yes. So long journey. As introduced, I've been with the company over 35 years now. I started Collins. I'm actually a graduate of Warper College with a math computer science major. One of these people that absolutely loved working math. And when I graduated, it was, okay, how do I apply this math degree? And at that time, Rockwell International was hiring. We had won a number of new contracts and they needed people with that mathematical background. So I hired in as a software engineer, was a software engineer for many, many years. Then, within Collins, because of the size of our business, we're actually able to grow into new roles and find a lot of career growth opportunities. So I have then took on a systems engineering role, a technical director role where I led a very large project. I then became a software engineering manager, became kind of an overall group manager that was multidisciplined, became a department manager, and on to now an engineering director where I've actually led multi-engineering discipline groups, inclusive of systems, software, ASIC, FPGA, electrical, mechanical. So I've gotten exposed to everything engineering as I've grown into the role of engineering director. And now along that journey, security was always a piece of it. And so while I was even in the military, I was very involved in a lot of things from a security standpoint. Interestingly, I've spent time in the commercial side of the business. Security has grown on the commercial side as we think about the connected aircraft. And so knowing that security was a big piece of my background, my current role is I am now our product cybersecurity officer for Collins. And that's really working through how we as a company continue to mature around cybersecurity, securing our products, thinking through things that we have to go do from a secure system development lifecycle, and really think security cradle to grave on our products. So that is the current role that I'm in.
That's awesome. I want to dig in a little bit more, but I think I go back into Technology Association of Iowa notes from 24 years ago, and Rockwell Collins is synonymous with technology in Iowa. And I think people know that. It's had a moving target with different names. And so if you could break it down for someone that doesn't know, what is Collins Aerospace?
Yeah, so Collins Aerospace, as we talked earlier, we have had a journey of going from being Rockwell International to Rockwell Collins to now Collins Aerospace. And our Collins Aerospace, while we're in Iowa here, we are one of the 4 business units that is now in the broader Raytheon Technologies. But within Collins Aerospace and within our Iowa area, we are very focused on commercial and military avionics products and solutions. And when I say that, it's all the way from the displays in the cockpit, all of the flight recorders and different technologies that we have within the cockpit, all the way through things in the cabin, and all the way to the back of the plane when we think about our information management and connectivity, how we get information on and off the plane. So there's technologies that allow us to send things to the ground crews. And so very focused on those products and equipment around, the avionics, nose to tail types of technologies. Those products, and again, this is probably the engineer in me wanting to make sure everybody understands, it takes systems and software and mechanical and then electrical and ASIC FPGAs. So we cover so many different engineering categories in what we have to go do to build our products, as well as things like looking at safety and security and ensuring everything we do meets the appropriate safety requirements. And then we also have military. So we have military products very focused on communication systems and position navigation timing systems. So kind of a whole variety of different things that we do for both the commercial and the military.
So you've been with the organization for 35 years. Is there a project or a technological solution or accomplishment you look back on and are really proud of?
It is over 35 years. It's kind of hard to pick just one. But when I think about some of my favorite accomplishments, probably the one that really, sticks out in my mind is pretty much creating what we had to go do to create a cryptographic engine for the company. It was specific to our military products at the time, but creating that product, it really allowed me at that time to become a leader of a growing and new organization. Did a lot of hiring, built up a lot of the skill set. A lot of that skill set is what is now our cybersecurity engineering skill set across Collins and Iowa here. And so taking that technology that actually was kind of a piece of paper all the way through building a product that went through production was quite a nice accomplishment, and then building the team that helped produce that technology and that capability became really important. And so that is one that just continues to stick out in my mind, because it also really helped me continue to stay in the area where I've stayed focused on cybersecurity. And even in my current role, a lot of those people I worked with back then, I still continue to work with today.
So is there a uniqueness or challenges in working with the military on some of these problems and coming up with these technology solutions?
When in working with the military, it is very different from the commercial business, by the way. And I'll preface that with, in a commercial world, you make a lot of points of contact, and people really don't change roles very much. So it's really about that relationship you build. On the military side, we have great relationships with our military customers, but we do find there's a bigger turnover, just because that's the nature of the military, as people turn over roles. And so working through making sure everybody sees eye to eye on the requirements and the capabilities, and that we're solving the right problem, really giving them what they need and working through their requirements and how to implement them, really requires a lot of that very building up good communications, good relationships with that customer. And then just working through, if there's changes in personnel, work through and quickly get the new people up to speed and keep moving forward.
So what would someone say about you that reports to you?
So this one's kind of fun, by the way, because throughout my career, I had many people tell me I was intimidating. And it was one of those things when it was pointed out to me, I was like, yeah, really? I don't try to be. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, so that was a characteristic, by the way, I had to work on really hard because that was just so eye-opening to have somebody tell me I was intimidating. And so now I have actually talked to my employees and talked to others that they tell me, you're so easy to talk to. You're very open and very honest and very easy to talk to. And so I think of that thinking, good, they're not telling me I'm intimidating anymore. I do hear feedback that I'm very approachable and easy to talk to.
I would say you are. In my time getting to know you virtually over the last year, I would totally agree. What's something you've learned this week?
As Raytheon Technologies now, and then Collins Aerospace being one of those businesses, I am making new points of contact and learning things about our broader company literally every day. And I think that's one of the exciting things about my current role is I do get to see across all the business units and across a lot of what Collins does. And so this week, I have met numerous new people and have actually been in a number of discussions with across Raytheon where I'm learning more about the products, the capabilities, the technologies that those additional business units have, and that we can look at, well, how can we use those in Collins, or how can we work together? So that has provided a lot of interesting dynamics to my days.
You've been there for 35 years. There has to be people that have been impactful for you to get to where you are. Is there some folks that come to mind?
That's a great question. And as I thought about it, first and foremost, I have the most supportive husband and children in the world. I do not believe I would be where I am at without all of their support for everything I've done on this journey. Between the late nights and the odd hours and just a lot of things, I have a very supportive family. But likewise, I have had a number of fantastic managers throughout my career. To name just one would be hard, but as I think about the role of our leaders and how they can influence and help employees, I've had some great managers who have just really helped to guide me, give me new opportunities, encourage me to try new things, and really offer me some of those opportunities where they saw things in me I probably didn't see in myself, and presented me with the opportunities, encouraged me. I didn't say no, and it really opened my eyes to just new things that I could do. So I'm very appreciative of all the guidance and leadership my managers have given me over the years.
So in this role, what stresses you out, keeps you up at night?
So what stresses me out in my current role, I present to a lot of our executive leadership, and the thought of thinking, am I prepared? Do I have all the information they need? What types of questions will they answer? I've learned, they'll ask questions that I can't always begin to anticipate. And so it's, okay, if I have to take an action and come back later, fine. But I do really worry about and think through, am I prepared? Who's going to be in the meeting? Do I have everything ready to go? Because I always want those meetings to go well.
Yeah. All right, we're going to transition here to some little more lightning round fun questions. So give advice to 18-year-old Linda as she's leaving Davenport and going off to college.
Okay, 18-year-old Linda going off to college. Try new things, explore new things. Don't be afraid of failure. I think the joke that a number of us have right now at work is, don't let a crisis go to waste. Mm-hmm. It becomes a new opportunity to learn. And I think, a lot of times we don't want to fail, but you find that through those failures, you learn so much and you can apply that going forward. So the 18-year-old Linda, I would say, jump in, try new things, and don't be afraid to stumble. Learn from it.
All right. A song plays every time you walk in a room. What is that song?
It is Hard Love by Need to Breathe. There is some lyrics about, get back up, don't, getting beat down, get back up, keep going. Absolutely love those lyrics.
Seinfeld or Friends?
Friends.
Do you have a favorite curse word?
That's a hard question because that's one of those things that when I had children, I decided I wasn't going to curse anymore.
Good for you.
So it's one of those things that I always think about what do I say and how do I come across? And so if I'm in meetings now where people do curse, it almost surprises me because I've worked really hard on, all right, I want to set an example for my kids and for my employees. So nothing comes to mind right now.
No, that's fair. People are binge watching a lot of stuff right now. Is there a show that you or your family have been binge watching?
I have been having a lot of fun watching things on Netflix, and my latest binge watch was The Umbrella Academy.
Very good. You could have dinner with anyone alive or deceased. Who would that be and why?
I thought about that as well. I thought it's a fun question. And the person that came to mind is Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs, because I realized he was inventing when I was going through college. And if you look at everything he's done and what, his products and Apple and everything have done, I would be fascinated to talk to him, but especially knowing he was inventing while I was in school, and just the thought process of what that technology was at that time and then what it has now become. I think it would be fun to have dinner and just talk to him.
Good answer. Do you have a favorite word?
Ubiquitous.
A least favorite word?
Never.
Do you have a favorite noise or sound?
Okay, my most favorite sound is ocean waves, and that unfortunately doesn't exist in Iowa.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite vacation spots is going to Florida, and I could just spend time on the beach listening to the ocean. I love that sound.
All right, least favorite sound?
Traffic. Especially on summer nights where you have your windows open, I don't want to listen to cars.
Comedy club or dance club?
Comedy club.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the weirdest, how weird is Linda?
I'm pretty tame. I'm probably about a 3 or a 4. Now, at one point in my life, my kids I'm a bike rider, by the way. And so at one point, my kids thought when they saw me in all my biking gear, I was pretty out there. But now they've come to accept that because they're all bikers now as well. So,
right.
So I'm pretty tame.
Well, good. Well, I hope during the pandemic you're still able to get out and do some bicycling. What are you not very good at?
You're probably going to be surprised when I tell you this as well, but I'm actually an introvert. And so meeting new people and striking up conversations with people I don't know, it's hard. I mean, I find that very difficult. And I always have to think about, all right, when you meet them, can I keep the conversation going? So it is definitely something I have to keep working at because I meet a lot of new people. But quite honestly, it's one of my struggles.
Well, I have to say, I've got to know you over the last year virtually. I've really, really enjoyed it. And we really appreciate you being on the Technology Association of Iowa's Board of Directors. We hope we can get in the same room again someday. We're a 24-year-old trade association. And as we look back, Rockwell Collins has been there from day one. And so your support means a lot. You did great today. And I hope you have a wonderful day, Linda. Thanks for joining us on TechBrew AM.
Okay, thank you. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate being part of this.
You bet. Have a great day.
Thanks.
At JetBlue, innovation is in our DNA. And what we love about the relationship we have with Nutanix is that innovation is also in their DNA. And when you bring those two things together, great things happen.
Trek is really technology driven. Bikes are absolutely as technologically advanced as possible, and all of that is really driven under the hood. It's all being powered by Nutanix.
Once we dipped our toe into the hyper-converged infrastructure platform, we decided, hey, this could be a great platform for our dynamic enterprise workloads in our data center. And so then we actually converted our entire data center to the hyper-converged infrastructure platform on Nutanix. And so now we run all of our dynamic workloads across it.
The amount of time that I spend on any given day to maintain this infrastructure has now been cut almost to nothing.
One of the biggest differences we've seen with Nutanix Enterprise Cloud is the ability to improve our work-life balance and make Wharton a more attractive place to work.
The benefit of being hardware agnostic is that no matter which vendor I choose or which vendor gives me the best price in that moment, the software on top of it is always the same, so my procedures, my process of implementing doesn't change.